Racing League Championship, brought to you by us, GamingNow, and me, Toby Byrne. I will be your comment for the racing that is getting underway today, and I'm sure you're going to love it. I'm sure you really are going to enjoy it. I'm just trying to find the stream. On my end, we're watching the Haas driver of Nemesis Racing go around for his lap, but we're going to switch to, we believe, the favourite for qualifying, if we can find him. Everyone's going to be coming up to the line relatively close, and it looks like Nibbler is taking an early pole position, unless any of the other guys can beat him, but it looks like Nibbler is going to be on pole position for the racing, getting underway this evening. So, pole for the Australian will be very nice for him indeed. I'm struggling to find my own channel link to monitor the stream. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. There we go. We're all up to speed now. Everything is working. And, of course, you can always talk to me in the chat. I will do my best to respond to your questions throughout the race. But it is Nibbler who takes pole position by a whopping just under 7/10 of a second ahead of Chazza, the two favourites in this league, the two fastest guys by far. Very interesting state of affairs for these guys, as you can look. Rookies, Danny, Tester, and Dougie Afroman, all impressing as well in the top 5. It's going to be a very interesting sequence of racing. Please do let me know if you've ever watched this kind of racing before, if you're new to sim racing, or if you're just new to NORL in general. I'd love to hear from you and your thoughts throughout this evening's racing. It gets underway. Very interesting. Some people have a bit of the new system. Of course, if you're seen as, I believe it is, too quick for the other drivers, it's more of a laid-back league. I think the best way to say it now, the Nemesis online it's taken a new too fast, or you're just unfairly, in their eyes, outpacing your rivals, then you're no longer allowed to compete. And that's a story and a whole different set of controversy to discuss for another day. But for right, that means the majority of these drivers, the driving skill is lower, admittedly, than last season, than the likes of Killzone, our champion. But it's going to be all the fun the same, I'm sure, as that is going to be our formation lap then, as we get ready to go on. KingMarker14 in the chat says it's his first ever time watching the NORL series, and I'm sure he'll be out supporting his friends Dougie Afroman and Galactic Skull 2 today. Now, as we were saying, it is a Ferrari 1-2 in the form of Nibbler and Chazza. That is by far the favourite team to take the championship. They are going to win easily, in my opinion. It's going to be a very easy win. So we will see how these guys do. We are going to get up our lovely items for today. We're going to get a position change up. And we're going to get ready to go racing. So, CJS 44 Gaming, actually Callum Spencer from previous seasons who used to race in here, Ganja Spencer, is saying well done to Dougie Afroman for his P5. That is a very good result for the rookie indeed, as well as Danny Ibn Laha and Tester Meister in 3 and P4 in the Renners as well. Rookies, really good performances from 3, 4 and 5, all are new to this series, as is Lord Jord UK, as is Murcielago and Beamer Black. They have raced in the Project Cars series before, and Limited Danny in 15th will be new to the series as well. But it is going to be Nibbler leading his home Grand Prix. It's a bit of a rough and scruffy formation lap, I have to say. The 96 Ferrari in the red and yellow helmet, and his teammate behind in the blue helmet will look to get the season underway. Can Ferrari get a 1-2 for the first race of the season? Tester gets disqualified from the formation lap for hitting someone, and so does Danny. That just means that these guys don't get disqualified from the race, they just get disqualified from the formation lap, and they will be put on the grid. I tried to skip to them. They're not actually viewable, but they'll just sit on the grid. They're not allowed to participate in the formation lap any longer. You see them up there, and they will start from where they begin. So 5 people here watching the first round of the Nemesis Online Racing F1 2018 Championship. Last time it was Killzone who took the champion's crown, unable to rejoin due to new regulations in NORL. Leaves for room for the... It is going to be 5 red lights. Here we go. And the F1 2018 season of NORL is is underway. We had a little bit of a delay there. McLaren getting a very late start and not a very good start at all. Nibbler leads comfortably into turn 1. Then it looks like the Ferrari 1-2 will be intact. We had a Toro Rosso having a look on the inside, but now the Sauber of Dougie Aframan will go at it with Testameister, and they've made contact straight away. Both cars in the wall, and Dougie is stuck on the Renault, and that is a big accident for the two rookies, and that shows the skill gap there between an experienced driver. They actually hit again as the Renault tries to reverse out of that. Dougie's got no front wing, and neither does Testameister. He's lost some damage as well, but Nibbler still leads under pressure. Chazer a little bit from Danny Ibn Laha as we come through. It's looking through the grid. It is a Haas 4-5. Good effort from them. Ragnar comes into Toro Rosso next, ahead of the sister car of the Red Bull as we come through. Toro Rosso having a little bit of a look. Now you can see the other Toro Rosso of Limited Danny looking on the Mercedes. Nowhere to go with it, but now the Mercedes locks up, goes a little bit wide, and surely the Toro Rosso is going to have a run. We'll ride on board as we come through the kink of a corner into the next chicane. You can see the Red Bull's made a move on the Toro Rosso ahead as well. He's on the inside, and now he scares the Mercedes off the road, and now there's been another accident. Front wing loss for the Red Bull of Murcielago. He's lost his front wing. Anil Tanovic will use his experience to try to stay out of there, but it looks like he's lost his front wing end plate as well. Chaotic start here in the Nemesis Online Racing League. And that Red Bull is going very slowly indeed as all these cars with no front wings limp back home, but it's been a very, very scruffy first lap as Nibbler sets the pace with a purple lap. And I'm just going to take 2 seconds to breathe again because that was absolutely crazy. We have lots of debris in the gravel there. We had a Toro Rosso having a look, and it's going to be Ragnar trying to make a move on Kevin Jacobs. He'll be looking to the outside. Of course, split strategy for these guys because it looks like Kevin's on the Super Softs and Ragnar is on the Ultra Softs. We have so many cars in the pits, I can't even count. We've got Anel, we've got the other McLaren who looks like they're going to be performing a double stint. You can see the Renault in there as well, Red Bull, and Dougie Aframan as the Sauber will come home in the back of that pack. Lots of cars in the pits then. It looks like Ragnar did get the job done on Kevin Jacobs, but Kevin Jacobs on the harder compound tyre will hurt to come back at him on strategy later in the race. Nibbler leads by 1 second from his teammate Chazzy, who leads from 1 second back to the Renault of Danny up in P3. Nemesis Racing will line up in P4. Subaru Ryan having a really good outing in P5. Ragnar being chased down a little bit by Kevin Jacobs. They're coming back a little bit at him on them harder compound tires. But Limited Danny, big accident! Limited Danny is out! He got on the auto spin curb on the AstroTurf in the background, and he is out well and truly for this race. Is that going to be a safety car? I'm not sure. But Limited Danny is out of round 1 of the F1 2018. Championship for NORL this season. It's a brutal way to start the season, is this track, and it's taken its first victim in the form of one of the Toro Rossos. The sole Toro Rosso finds himself trying to hunt down the sister team of Red Bull, but Limited Danny is out, and it doesn't look like we'll be seeing a safety car which could bring those boys with damage back into play, but no safety cars as of yet. Danny is well and truly out of this race. Big crash, just got on the AstroTurf behind the curb, and he spearheaded off into the wall, and it's so easy to do. If you've played this game, you will realize just how easy that is to do. Big accident, and Beamer Black is now out as well. Is that another crash or a manual retirement? Not sure. Beamer Black's out. We have no idea what has happened to Beamer Black. We'll try and find out after the race for you, but it looks like a manual retirement because I don't see any crashes. But out goes Beamer Black. Crazy race in the early laps, and it opens the question for when you lower the skill gaps, you open the opportunity to so many more accidents, and in good ways that is good for the show. But it looks like they're just going to clear oh no, that's Beamer Black there. Look, do you see Beamer Black? I can't look at him on the screen, but as we will ride on board with someone the next time they go through that sector, Beamer Black is actually yeah, we'll see him. So when Anil Tanovic comes around, as we keep an eye on Ragnar chasing down, Anil Tanovic will come around and see his teammate, and it looks like Beamer Black has done the exact same thing as Limited Danny. If they haven't already cleared that sector, we'll ride on board with a McLaren to clarify that. No yellow flag, so I think the sector's been clear. Yeah, it's been cleared, but that is what happened as Kevin Jacobs makes a pit stop. This is interesting because Kevin doesn't have any damage. This is a scheduled stop from the Haas driver, and it's going to be soft compound tires. And actually, they're putting a new front wing on anyway. So Kevin, somewhere on this lap, has picked up damage to his front wing. Absolutely crazy scenes, and still the closest gap is Ragnar and Subaru STI Ryan. As Chazza makes a bit of inroad into his teammate for the lead of the race, we'll see if them two will battle or if it will be the style of Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton earlier today. Bit of a lock-up from the Red Bull gives Ragnar the opportunity, I think. Ragnar has the X for Ryan. Ryan seems to have the speed at this moment. Ragnar's going to use this to try get up in the fight. Colin up in the Sauber is doing a good job for P7, and that is Galactic Skull 2. They come through the second DRS. The Toro Rosso will stay behind, but that's another lockup for Subaru Ryan. Feeling the pressure, I am sure. So we come around the next set of corners into the final couple of slinky corners. Very slow here. Oh, Ryan's got around. Ragnar's got nowhere to go. Into the side. That's Ragnar's front wing damage. So surely these guys are both going to pit. This is an absolute disaster. These guys can't get back on the road. Got to be careful because the Toro Rosso Galactic Skull just navigates his way through that. Ragnar will pit. Surely that is messy. It just looked like Subaru Ryan dropped it all by himself. And Ryan had nowhere to go but into the, Ragnar had nowhere to go but into the side of Ryan. And that has caused another early victim here at Australia. We'll watch the Toro Rosso boys get to work. They'll take off the front wing, put on a new one, as well as fit a new pair of, I can't actually see the compound, it's soft compound. So Ragnar's going to try go to the end after that. Well, there's no other way to say it but disaster, really, is there? And the way it took them so long to recover just shows it. Meanwhile, we have a great battle starting to form between Nibbler and Chazza then. Chazza really putting the pressure on his teammate of Nibbler. Now has DRS. Nibbler will go ultra defensive, and Chazza's going to have to do it around the outside. No room to do it there, though. He'll have to switch back if he can. Looks like he might go for the inside, but still no room to do it. He's going to have to hold back and try do it into turn 1 down the next DRS zone. So he will save his energy. We can see the different energies these guys have on the dashboard. It looks like Chazza has slightly more ERS to use that overtake mode and Rich free. You can see the DRS gets opened. Wide open goes that rear wing flap, which gives him more straight line speed. If you're new to the Formula 1 concept, then the rear wing opens and you get more straight line speed to attack the car in front as long as you are within 1 second in the DRS zones. He is a further 1 second ahead in this part, so he can have another go at Nibbler. Nibbler got the better exit there and survives that assault. A double lockup for Chazza will hurt his tyres in the long run, but it looks like Nibbler is really struggling for pace right now. And Chazza is looking to make him pay for it. Nibbler looking to get his first ever home Grand Prix victory in the NORL Championship. But Chazza, the man who contended for the title last season, he was very close but just couldn't do it, is going to be determined to stop his Ferrari teammate from taking the first win of the season. These boys might be about to give us the battle we've been waiting for. 1/10 of a second was the gap. It's now extended to just under 3/10, now 2.5 as we come into the fast chicane. But it's going to be very hard for Chazza to follow through here due to the dirty air. But if he can get it right, he's going to have DRS. And again, I reckon Nibbler will go to the inside and defend. And Chazza, no, he's left the door wide open. Chazza down the inside. Nibbler tries to defend the outside. Out breaks himself a little bit. That gives Nibbler the better run, surprisingly. I really thought Chazza would have got the better run during that incident. But another big lockup for Chazza is really hurting his tyres while he's fighting his teammates so hard, and he goes wide through the final corner. That's going to hurt his chances of a run into turn 1, but he's just got enough speed, and I think he's saved his battery energy better than Nibbler has. He will have the inside line. All he needs to do is outbrake it, but no! Nibbler outbrakes him once again and defends his position, and now Chazza will have another go into the turn 3 complex, but that is game over for Chazza right now, as that is Nibbler defending first place with textbook defending, and now Chazza under pressure from the Renault. I want to clarify that I am sick, so all this shouting is killing me, so when I take breaks it is to take water, I promise. So as we will try get as much of the action out as possible. Chazza gets a good run through there, but nowhere to go with it. Another big lockup. He's got to be careful while passing his teammate. These lockups are churning his tyre wear down every single bit. and now will ride on board with the man from Britain against the man from Australia. He'll look to go around the outside, never going to happen. Not a snowball's chance in hell of making that work. And he now has to follow, and he'll try get the DRS through this section again. And now this time Nibbler opted for the middle line there, really. There was nowhere Chazza could have gone. Now Nibbler goes defensive, feeling the pressure. That will give Chazza the better run. And now Chazza will have the outside contact. The teams come together, Ferraris come together, and Chazza loses a bit of front wing end plate. The Renault goes off in fear, and that's disaster! Disaster for Chazza! Absolute disaster! Chazza needed to go, oh no, double disaster! Nibbler picks up a 5-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and Chazza's lost front wing end plate and has to do another lap! That is an absolute disaster for Ferrari. They have just thrown this race into Renault's hands. Renault are now in the driver's seat of this race. As you can see, that is just going to become the case. Danny has so much more downforce. Look how he can just maneuver his car so much better. If I was Chazza, you've got to let it go. You've got to let it go to the Renault for right now. It's not your fight anymore. And now the Haas will try to unlap himself. That is Kevin Jacobs in last place. That shows you the pace of losing your front wing when the car in last place of the runners is able to unlap himself. And down the inside, no, he will not. He will hold off. He'll be sensible. But that is a disaster for Ferrari. It's huge. That is absolutely huge. Chazza has to do another lap on a broken front wing, and Nibbler gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Danny is now in the driver's seat to win this race. Danny has just become the favourite to win round one. That is huge. That is such a blunder from Ferrari. Almost as big as their blunders in real life. And just look how much Chaz is struggling. He can barely keep the Haas behind him, who's on a harder compound tyres. And now he's surely just let the Haas go, Chazza, because it's not your fight. You need to pit and get out the way. And now Chazza will pit after doing a very slow lap with a broken front wing after contact with his teammate. We will see what the stewards think of that, because that could even end up in further penalty for the Ferrari team. Danny actually takes the opportunity to pit, so now we'll have to see if Nibbler is going to be anywhere close. Danny could come out on circuit and hold this lead. He does not. But I think Nibbler is yet to serve his penalty. Nibbler has not yet served his penalty. Nemesis Racing now leads after the pit stops. Nemesis yet to pit. But that is huge. Nibbler has to serve a 5-second penalty, so he needs to get past Nemesis and build a 5-second gap. He currently has 6 seconds in favour of him, but if he stops again, he will have 5 seconds before they put that stop on. Danny needs to put the pace on and get within 5 seconds of that Ferrari, and he will win this race. So we look further down the field. Everything's a bit spread out, as Australia usually gives to us, but it'll give me a chance to rest my voice. The next gap looks to be forming between Lord Jord and Dougie Afroman. That will be the next battle to keep an eye on, I'm sure, as well as Ragnar and Murcielago look like they'll be going at it after Ragnar pitted for repairs. But for right now, it's this man who's in the driver's seat to win this race. If he can get within 5 seconds of Nibbler, and Nibbler's crucially catching Nemesis by about 3 seconds this lap. So surely I expect Nemesis to pit. And that's interesting because Nemesis was 4th. Nemesis was 4th, which means Nemesis could possibly jump Chazza after Chazza had to do that extended lap. So we will compare where everybody is. Chazza, in the final few corners, will line up and battle this man who's just in the pits now, changing the tyres they go. And I think Chazza will retain it, but it won't be by much. Nemesis is going to be close. There goes Chazza, flying by, and there is Nemesis. Nemesis is closer, but luckily Chazza had the pace when it mattered to secure 4th place. Crazy racing going on here then. And we can now see Ragnar is 0.5 seconds away from Murcielago. DRS will open. It's going to be quite easy, surely, for him to go up the inside and get the move done. Passes Murcielago. Ragnar with seasons more experience, a lot more experience in that Toro Rosso than he was in the Red Bull, and it showed there with a textbook move. So that was a crazy start to the race, wasn't it? Ferrari put themselves in a really hard position. Really, really hard position here. It's going to be very interesting. All Danny has to do is close in by 1.7 seconds and he will win, as it stands. But right now it looks like Nibbler has the pace to keep that, but that's just put more pressure on Nibbler. The two Ferraris make contact. It'll happen. Limited Danny is in the chat. He says so bad. I'm not sure what's gone on, but I'm assuming that is referencing his accident. It's a shame to see you go so early. Dougie Afmerman is 0.8 seconds behind the Mercedes of Lord George as Chazza sets a new fastest lap of the race. We'll ride on board with the man with the afro from Scotland as they both go wide.